Welcome back to Kicking It With Kenya. So right now we're talking about a topic that might get a little personal. We're obviously talking about the situation that's going on with T.I., where he sat there and said that he takes his daughter to get tested to see if she still has her virginity in place. I guess she signed, I don't know. I'm assuming because when you go to the doctor's office, they ask you, like, do you want to sign consent forms? I'm assuming she had to have signed those in order for him to even get those forms to see if her hymen is still intact or to see if she still keeps her virginity. So my thing is, I remember a clip because I watched the T.I. and Tiny show. And I remember a clip where, like, the son sat there and told, the son's like 14, 15, I think it was King. The son sat there and was basically admitting that he had sex. And Tiny was crying, you know, like, my baby having sex, whatever. And T.I. was all joking about, like, haha, you done broke your mother's heart over there having sex. But my thing is, I don't understand, like, when it comes down to society in general, why is it more acceptable for men to have, like, an understanding that they're going to possibly have sex with women? It's like fathers or anybody, or any parental whatever, feel like they need to, like, police that with women. Like, I'm not understanding.
Daddy's little girl. When it comes down to how society views men and women, especially when you're younger, women are to be protected, cherished, loved. Men are to provide. So when you have a father that has a young son and he loses his virginity and it's like, ha, that's my boy. Whereas when it's a girl, it's like the dad is a little bit like, who's the guy? You know what I mean? And they want to size up the guy. Martin and Bad Boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how it's looked at, because it's a certain level of how precious we look at our little daughters, our young women, as opposed to our young men.
I feel like honestly, I feel like how you said it was poetic, but I also feel like, let's be real, I think it's because women can get pregnant and men don't. And like, I feel like that's the reason why most men are given like that free way of being like, oh yeah, y'all can go out and have sex because you get a little girl pregnant, you ain't got to bring it home. But my daughter get pregnant, she got to bring it home. Or what the case may be. I don't know. That's my plain way of saying it, because I'm not understanding why we not cherishing it for both. Like, we're going to allow our little boys to sit there and just spread it. And we're not going to be like, but you as a person, you're a person, your body should be cherished too. Like, you don't have to stick your thing in everything just because, it's now your rite of passage, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, why can't we cherish it on both ends? Sex is still a beautiful act. It don't have to be like a rite of passage for men, but something that's so, like, virginal and nasty for women. And I don't like that that's the dialogue all the time. Like, I'm sure, like, when it came down, like, even with me, like, I am the only girl. I have two older brothers. Sex conversations with them, by far, were way easier. Mm-hmm. Me? My mother wasn't trying to have that. Sex with them, brothers would quickly, Mario, you got a condom? Or whatever the case may be. It was easy. Me? Hell no. Like, it was just never gonna be like that. But, like, my dad, strangely enough, would have those conversations with me. Like, all the time. Like, have all these conversations with me. And I just, like, because I think in his mind, he realized, like, I'm his only daughter, I'm his only girl, and I was his only child. And I think in his mind, he realized eventually she's going to have it. I'd rather her have the tools to know what to do. So, like, hearing what T.I. is doing and seeing a lot of men and a lot of people like, yeah, I agree. I'm like, how ignorant can y'all be? Because, you know, sex is going to happen. And I feel like by making it, like, the way, taking it to the extreme he's doing, like, I feel like that's going to do more harm than good, because it's like, is she going to want to talk to him if she does have the sex? Mm-hmm. You know, like, how is that going to ruin their relationship after a while?
Well, I mean, I think that, you know, in a situation like that, I can't speak to how she feels or how...
Yeah, it's like, now the whole world knows that she's a virgin.
Well, I mean, you know, from the same standpoint, I think that it all really comes down to her level of comfort when it comes time to have that conversation. You know what I mean? And then there's so many elements that come into play. There's for some girls, even introducing your boyfriend to your dad is kind of like You know what I'm saying? And even for some dads, it's like, okay, yeah, I want to meet him. And they already have the mentality to size him up. So what are your intentions for my daughter? Where you work? Because they want you to be able to provide for her the same way they can provide for you. The same way they have been able to provide for their daughter. So now they're basically giving that responsibility up to you to do. So they feel like it's almost like, you know what I mean? Like they want to make sure you're tough enough. They want to make sure, can he fight? So many things. So when it comes time to have that conversation for her and him, if you keep doing that and she's uncomfortable by that, then yeah, it may push her away to the point where she may want to sneak around and do something, or may not be comfortable enough to tell.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's like the story for everybody. Like even like growing up, I always seen those stories. Like people would sneak around having sex, never feel like they could come to their parents and have these conversations. Like, but then when I tell my story, everybody's shocked. Cause like I always tell people, like when I lost my virginity, the first person I told was my father. Mm-hmm. Everybody looks at me like, what? Like, yeah, I told my dad. Like, when I did it, the very next day, I called him and told him. Because before I did it, we were already having conversations about it. Not saying that he was my friend. He was just like, this is what, like, giving me this is what sex is. And we was having conversations, asking me questions like, do I ever feel like, the urge, whatever the case may be. It was like a conversation that educated me. Mm-hmm. And I saw a lot of my friends hiding these secrets from their parents, but then guess what? They end up pregnant. So not only do you have to tell your parents that you having sex, now you got to tell them, oh, by the way, I'm pregnant. I didn't want to have that issue. I called my dad and he was like, well, first I called him and was like, hey, we talked about sex and I just want to let you know that I did that. And he was like, I'm going to call you back. And he called me back and said, I have a question. Why did you want to tell me? And I never forget, I was like, because I seen a lot of my friends who keep these secrets all the time and it weighs on them. And they don't want to do that. Like, I just want to let you know what I'm doing because God forbid something ever happens. So let's just say I do have a baby. At least we're not both in the dark about me having sex. You know what? I was doing it. Not saying like he's now condoning it. Yeah. Like, no, it's like, I still want you to cherish, just because you did it. Like, I don't want you to feel like you have to do it all the time. Like, was this your idea? We had a good conversation about it. Was this your idea? Did you feel pressured by it? Did you feel like, was you in love? And I'm like, no, he was a virgin. I was a virgin. Kind of wanted my situation and ours to like mean something to both of us. You don't come across virgins all the time. So, and like we had a real conversations where it wasn't no screaming, it was no yelling. It was just him understanding that I was growing up. And first thing he did was like, okay, so we're going to get you to the doctor so they can educate you now. You can talk to a woman. They can educate you now. We could probably get you birth control so you're protected and things like that. Like those are the conversations you need to have with your kids. Because guess what? It's going to happen. But for you to like, be like, I'm going to look and see if you're a virgin still. First of all, it's bullshit because the hymen has nothing to do with virginity. Like, at all. Like, you could tear that running. You could tear that doing a split. You could tear that dancing too hard. Like, it has nothing to do with virginity. Absolutely nothing. So, for men to be like, yeah, like, if she didn't bleed her first time, she wasn't that's bullshit. Like, debunk it. It's bullshit. So for him to be so educated, I'm kind of disappointed. Like, T always seems so woke. Like, he always seems so woke. But then in the same breath, it seems like he's just so, like, controlling and masculine and, like, oh, I want to, like, women here. Almost, like, that was kind of wrong to say, Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. I don't get that. Like, why would he even say that? That doesn't make sense. I
mean, like I said, it goes back to, being protective and wanting to care for your little girl. And just a lot of fathers tend to be like that when it comes to, I'm not going to say like over the top to that extent, but just very protective of their little girl. Even older brothers can be like that. You know what I mean? Protective of their younger sister. An uncle could be protective of her young niece because they don't want you to get taken advantage of. They don't want you in situations where you may not be ready for. Pregnancy can be a big reason for that. Because, if you have a kid, you're not ready to take care of no kid. Where's the kid going to live? Here, you can't even take care of yourself. You know how to cook, clean, educate. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people aren't ready to be parents when they are in a position to be one. And
And then that STDs is around the world.
And there's that too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, I think all of those come into play. So as overprotective as it may be, at least he's caring.
Yeah, I would never say he's not caring. I just feel like there's like I guess the message is like, I feel like I don't understand why sex is such a taboo. Mm-hmm. It shouldn't be a taboo. It should be something that's on the table. It should be a conversation. And it should be established, like the type of like respect to the fact that this young woman or man is going to feel these feelings, mm-hmm. and to make them feel bad or to like in a weird way make it shameful to have these feelings, instead of educating them to make the right ones. Like at least I'm thankful that I had a father who educated me to make the right decisions and like without him judging me, like my mother, like nobody wanted to deal with that trauma. But it's like, I feel like I just want it to be normed for both genders. I hate that
it's not going to be the norm for both genders. Because
Why?
Men and women are just different.
Why?
This just is the way it is.
We both feel the same thing though.
But it's not going to ever be viewed the same for both genders. It just won't.
Oh, man.
Men and women are different, and men and women will always be
different. It's never going to be the same if people think like that. Like
but it's just a fact. It's just a fact of life. Men and women are not the same. That's why you have that's why you have WNBA and NBA. That's why you have women's bathrooms. And men, we're not the same.
Well, we don't have that no more. Now we have unisex bathrooms.
I have my issues with that too.
We have a lot of stuff. But I feel like when it comes down to things that are chemical, sex is natural. It should be viewed the same. Because we both need the same education. Which is why I hate that there's no sex education in school. Mm-hmm. Like, we need the education so people can make educated decisions.
Well, I agree with that.
Like, it's needed. Even with pregnancy, like, there's a lot of things I'm learning I didn't even know happens when you're pregnant. And there's a lot of people who found these things out as they were pregnant because they were never taught. Like, mm-hmm. That's scary. Like, but I just hate the fact that, like, boys is like, yeah, go out there and go do your thing. But girls, it's like, bro, like, we have the same feelings, but I can't be cheered on. Ain't nobody gonna high five me. When when my rest of my family found out that I had sex, it turned into a whole novella. Like, my mother crying, and I'll never forget my brother sitting there, like, everybody look. That's horrible. But I don't remember none of this from my brothers. I don't remember none of it. I mean, obviously, this probably before I was born. I don't know. But I don't remember it being a big old deal when, like, boys in my family were having sex. I don't think nobody was sitting around congregating about it. Why is it that when it's a woman, we gotta do all of that extra shit? Mm-hmm. Like, why? That does not make you feel good. It just doesn't make you feel good. It makes you feel like you did something wrong. I had sex with somebody else. I had sex with some son. Like, at the end of the day, when you're a girl, and, like, who do you think these boys are having sex with? Somebody's daughter, right? And who do you think these daughters are having sex with? Somebody's son. So, we're on the same playing field. I just think the conversations need to be had. And understanding needs to be there so that people are educated and can move forward to be better than the generation before. That's just how I feel. I don't know. But, yeah. You let us know how you feel about sex, about talking about it, sex education. Do you think we need more? I'm pretty sure a lot of people who are Christians or whatever, they probably gonna be like, oh no. But you let us know how you feel. As always, like, follow, subscribe, and until next time.